Yeah, well, the voters I've been speaking to here in South London are well aware of the stakes, and some of them telling us they've voted for the first time in more than a decade, some voting for the very first time at all because they feel that this is so important. One man who's 35 years old told me that he felt this was the most important vote of his life. So people really aware of this, that this could really shape the future of Britain going forward here. We're asking them about the issues they feel are important to them. Clearly, Brexit is up at the top of the list for many people, as is public financing and the NHS. Now, we're not allowed to go into much more detail than that because there are quite strict broadcasting rules on polling day here in the UK, so detailed discussion of the issues isn't allowed on TV. But there's a real sense that this is a historic election. And when you ask people which way they think it's going to go, people really aren't sure. There's a feeling that it could be tight, and people really waiting on tenterhooks to see those first exit polls, which will be published at 10 p.m. time here in the UK.
And Catherine, there's been lots of talk, hasn't there, of tactical voting in this election. Tell us a bit about what that means and if that might actually have an impact on the final result.
Yeah, that's one of the things that is really interesting about this election. Now, you've got to understand, Britain has a first-past-the-post voting system. It's not proportional representation here. So that basically means that in any of the seats, in any of the constituencies, the party, the candidate that comes out with the most votes, even if it's just by one vote, the one who gets the most takes the whole seat. So it makes the predictions quite difficult to model. And this time round, there's been a lot of talk about tactical votings, about candidates with similar policies on issues, notably on Brexit, standing aside so that at least one of the parties that shares their views has the best chance of becoming that first past the post party. Now, whether this will actually shape up into reality really remains to be seen because, while people in the public may say they'll vote tactically, there's a question about it. They're not necessarily used to doing that in Britain. For decades, it's been polarised between left and right, the Labour and Conservative. So I have to wait and see whether people really go for this new strategic form of voting. It's making the polls quite difficult to predict as well. Opinion pollsters have been having quite a tricky time of modelling this. We'll wait for the the exit polls to come out. Just one point on that, 5 of the last 6 exit polls for general elections have been broadly correct, give or take a few seats. So perhaps we can still have confidence in those.